Statesville Free News and Views. This is Brian About Town, your host, and this is our first edition of our interactive podcast, a video podcast, and I'm partnered up with Mike Furman, editor of Statesville Free News. Mike, how you doing today?
Great, Brian. I'm really excited to be here. I think this is going to be a great venture. It builds really on the successes we've had at Statesville Free News over the last 2 years, where we've reported on hundreds of stories. I think we've really promoted a sense of community engagement, and just as importantly, we've given away almost $20,000 to nonprofits and schools during that time.
Excellent, excellent. And we also want to thank Mike. We want to thank our sponsors who come on board with us: Randy Marion, Piedmont Healthcare, Fast Fields, Blue Harbor Bank, Key to Escape. We're actually going to be filming over there. It's a very unique place to go, and the YMCA, and they're featured in one of our stories actually today too.
Right.
So you want to do a quick rundown? We do each show. We'll start with a quick rundown of some news items, and you have some to report on.
Sure. 3 quick stories today. Obviously, we're coming right off the primary elections on Tuesday, where we saw all 3 incumbent county commissioners win in the Republican primary, and then in the highly contested, sometimes ugly race for the open 34th district seat in the NC Senate, Vicki Sawyer won in a pretty tough race.
And I was surprised that you didn't have a runoff there.
No runoff, and I think that most of the voters in that race are in Iredell County, and I think when it came down to it, 2 of the candidates didn't have strong ties to Iredell County, and Vicki was a strong candidate.
And you also talked about it's budget time.
Right. Both the county commission and the city councils in Statesville have gotten a look at their proposed budget for 2018-19. For county taxpayers, the news is pretty good. Not calling for a tax increase. In the city, things look a little tougher. They're calling for a 6.5% increase in property taxes, plus increases in water and sewer rates.
Okay, so well, thank you and you can read all about this on Statesville Free News, SVLfreenews.com. And you can sign up for the email edition. That's the best way to get down to it. So let's start out our show today. We want to start out. I was over at Friday After 5 just last Friday. I talked to David Bradley and Maren Tallman. So let's see what they have to say about this very important feature they have during the summer, Friday After 5, sponsored by Piedmont Healthcare, and how it gives vibrancy to the city. Let's see what David and Maren had to say. I'm here with David Bradley of the Chamber of Commerce, and also Maren Tallman with the Downtown Development Corporation. And we are their first Friday After 5.
Yes.
Woohoo! And we're starting off with somebody new.
Yeah, we're so excited. We've got the Party Parrot Band. It's a Jimmy Buffett tribute band. So awesome night.
And that's where you're wearing that shirt.
That's why I'm wearing this shirt. I wouldn't normally be wearing this shirt.
I'm wearing this shirt because I want to sweat, because we're going to sell so much beer and wine tonight. It's going to be unbelievable.
Okay, I'm looking at the lineup this year. You got a lot of folks returning. You got Daryl Harwood. He always sells out. I mean, a lot of folks here. We got Catalina's, 2 big weekends there. That's on June 1st. Yep. Inspire, that's new.
Yes, that's a totally 80s tribute band, and that's going to be June 29th. So that'll be another new kind of concert for us. So doing a couple tribute bands this year.
You got Divided by 4 in August. That's new.
They've been here before, but they're awesome.
Okay, and we got Radio Jacks and Fat City. Wind up with Fat City. Yep. So if you haven't been out to Friday After 5, sponsored by Piedmont Healthcare,
come on out. We love it. It is a great opportunity for the community to celebrate a great place to live.
That's right. So you've been having Tom Dooley all this week. You had Art Crawl. You've had
One Walk. It's just been a busy.
It's been a busy time.
But it's a great time. If you want to see what's happening in downtown Statesville, come down. You'll find it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Let's have fun. Okay, we're back. Thank you, David and Maren. And this week, Mike, you sat down with our mayor, Costi, Kutteh. Lots going on there. In fact, since we did this interview, we were talking about the Vance Hotel. He's already broken another 4-4 tie.
Right. One of the issues on the council agenda this week was to fund a feasibility study to determine, whether the city really wants to go down that road and partnering with a private developer to redevelop the building. So we had a wide-ranging interview with the mayor, and certainly just going to have the highlights on our show today, but we will have links to the entire interview where you can watch on our new YouTube channel, SVL Free TV.
So this is the way it's going to work. We have the long interview. We'll have the complete interview on SVL Free TV, but we'll give you a kind of a shorter version here so you can hear what the mayor has to say. Let's see what Mayor Kutteh has to say.
Thanks, Brian. We're here in Mayor Costi Kutteh's office for our first installment of our Movers and Shakers segment. Mayor, thank you for hosting us and for taking the time to answer a few questions this week.
Thank you, Mike.
Let's rewind for a minute and talk about the last campaign. It was tough. There were, it seemed to get personal, not just among the candidates, but longtime friends, people and associates kind of were forced to choose sides between you and Mr. Johnson. And I think some of those friendships and relationships will never be the same. Has it been difficult for you and I guess the council to move forward and get back to the business of doing the city's work?
Well, the difficulty is not the campaign. I've often said if the only thing that concerned the citizens was the relationship that Mike Johnson and I have, that's fine. We're fine. He chose to challenge for the office, and that's okay. The bigger challenge, of course, is the obvious dead split in the council as it exists today. And as everybody brings to my attention, I've probably been involved in breaking more ties in the first 4, 5, or 6 months of this than the whole 12 years previous, and that's okay. And it's my intention to try to let the citizens know why I vote the way I do. In the past, people said, oh, I'll just rap the gavel and say yay or nay. But I think it's important for the citizens to understand how I feel and why I'm making the decisions that I'm making and what went into that decision-making process. I didn't realize how deep the differences might be in the early going. And so I kind of went into the early meetings prepared on a couple topics to think that there'd be something to break a tie about. But as we've gotten deeper into it, it seems as if there are more chances to break the tie than not. And I jokingly say, when you have to break a tie on a motion to adjourn a meeting, you might need to be getting into things a little bit more deeply. So that's where we are now, but we'll get over that. And there's some signs that there's some big overriding issues where people have different philosophical differences. But I sense that everybody on the council is working for what they believe to be the best interest of the citizens of Statesville. So I'm confident that we'll get there one day.
Okay. Cannot let the opportunity pass to ask you about the Vance Hotel. Certainly been a lightning rod for what seems like a long time. The council and yourself now are charged with figuring out what to do with it. Regardless of which way you go, you're going to have people who are happy and people who are unhappy. What do you think the end game is, and when can we expect a decision?
Well, right now we have a development agreement with Richard Angino, Third Wave Housing, that expires June 30th. So I've been saying for a couple months it appears we need to make a decision on or before June the 30th. We're going to be asked at our May 7th meeting to approve a modest amount of money so that the Institute of Government or another company can examine the numbers and present the best proposal that gives the city the best opportunity to return its loan to the city coffers. Something needs to happen there, and again, as I've mentioned before, it's not just the hotel. It's a two-phase approach to the parking deck, which is independent of the hotel, so there may be some confusion in the community. But I see it as three projects. I see it, one project is the improving of the parking deck that we have already because it's got some safety issues, and we could obtain a few additional parking places by taking the shell building off the back and scraping underneath and having new ramps and all that. So we need to do that. That's phase one. Phase two maybe is more optional. That's the extension of the parking deck over the Meeting Street parking lot to add parking. And then third, of course, is the hotel. I understand people's concerns. They see it as giving money to a private developer. They see it as a downtown project. They see it as a big white elephant and that there are other ways that the city could spend its money. I understand all of those things. It's been done before. It's been done by this man before. It's been done all over the state where private developers have to come in And maybe it's no different than the public and private sector supporting Panther Stadium, for example. Is Jerry Richardson getting a little bit richer because the city put money into it? I guess so, but without the city's involvement, would they have been able to do it, and would we even have a professional football team? So that's part of it. The other thing is, I don't see the Vance Hotel as a downtown project. Some people said, you know, you've spent a lot of money downtown, we're tired of you spending money downtown, you need to spend money other places. Well, we are spending money on other places. The city is very solvent. The city has the capability to do a number of projects at any given time. And I hope we will continue to do that. So I see that as a community project. I see it as some benefit to the downtown. But quite honestly, Mike, I used to get more comments about the state of the Vance Hotel before we had the streetscape than now. People aren't quite as concerned, but we know it's deteriorating. And we know if we just knock it down, it won't be that much less expensive than it will be to participate in its renovation. So we'll see. I anticipate that there'll be serious discussion every step of the way and on every penny that needs to be spent from here on out. So we'll just see how it goes.
All right, fair enough. Last question, Mayor. Save the best for last. You think this is going to be your final term, or can you see yourself going through another campaign?
Oh, I don't know. It's so early into this term that I honestly have given no thought to that whatsoever. I mean, I enjoy serving. I enjoy doing all of the things that are required of the mayor. It does take time away from my main line of work, being an attorney. And it takes time away from my family, but my children are grown now, and gives me more time to do that. So I really don't know. I don't mean to put the question off, but I think we're probably 3 years away from answering that question. But I certainly learned a lot about campaigning and about the community, and I'm energized to do the best job I can this term.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate you joining us for our first installment of Movers and Shakers. Thanks, Brian. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike, for that interview. Very good, informative interview. And like I said, go back to SVL Free TV and see the complete interview and all the other things he talks about his accomplishments and other things in that interview. But you know, Mike, one of the important things in Iredell County is farm to plate. You know, locally grown food, and it's nutritious. You know, agriculture is king in Iredell County. Dairy farming it's #1 in the whole state, I believe.
Correct.
So one of the best ways to get your locally grown food is at the farmers market. The Rotary has one on Wednesday mornings and Saturday mornings, and on Thursday afternoon in Pecan Park they have the Thursday evening farmers market. So I went out there to see what they have, what the local farmers and growers are bringing in. So let's see what they have to say out there at the Thursday evening farmers market. Hey, I'm out here at the Thursday evening farmers market. William Nooney, good to see you, William. How you doing?
Doing good, Brian.
Okay, you said we're in what, the 6th week now?
Fifth week.
5th week here at the Thursday evening farmers market in Pecan Park, and you've got your eggs here. You're at Rogue Hen Farms.
Rogue Hen Farm.
And so, what all do we have out here today? We have some produce coming in now.
Yeah, produce, crafts, jams, jellies, fresh, homemade, all-natural dog treats, cat
dog
treats.
treat for humans and canines.
We've got pies, cakes. There's lots of greens and onions right now.
Okay.
So you're gonna get your lettuces and your onions right about this time, and then Brian is over there killing it with strawberries.
Strawberries. So if you want fresh strawberries, and this is all about farm to plate here in Iredell County. You can eat healthy, and plus you can support local farmers who are doing a good job with local healthy food.
Yes.
So invite everybody to come out, and it's every Thursday at Pecan Park from about 3:30.
3:30 to 6.
And we have entertainment too.
Entertainment.
The boys are playing. They're taking a break now. Okay, so thank you very much, William.
Thanks, Brian.
Me too.
All right, Brian. What have you got here? You got some nice
We
strawberries.
got strawberries, we got spring mix, spinach, onions, all kinds of lettuce and kale and mustard greens, and
you got romaine.
we got romaine.
And it's safe.
It's safe romaine right here.
See, that's a good thing about it is farm to plate here in Iredell County. You can get your local food, and you know it's safe.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
Thank you, Brian. And Howard,
Thank you.
Howard Family Farms is located where?
In Union Grove, and we're going to open to the public tomorrow.
Okay, that tomorrow will be May 4th.
May 4th.
If I get it posted. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And like I said, farm to plate, it's a way to go here. In fact, I meant to mention that the YMCA has a program called Cultivation, where they teach kids how to grow their own food. So we'll be talking about the YMCA too, along with that. Now, one of the things you wanted to do is highlight first responders, Mike.
Right. I think too often we hear about the work that a few first responders do when the outcome is not what we would hope for. And the truth is, 99% of the time, when someone picks up the phone and calls 911, the police, the fire department, EMS, everyone who is needed shows up and does great work.
Right.
So our goal with this feature, I think, is to focus on the first responders in our community who do such a great job day in and day out, and our goal will be to feature a different one every week.
So our guest this week, or our first responder, is Detective Sergeant Katie Harwell of the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. So let's see what Katie has to say. I'm with Katie Harwell here at the Iredell County Sheriff's Office, and you are our first responder of the week, the first one of our new show. How about
Awesome, that's great.
And tell us briefly, why did you decide to go into law enforcement?
Well, at a young age, at 16, I had started working numerous jobs. Every job that I worked, I saw that I liked helping people. So what a better thing to do than to go into law enforcement. So now I can help people that necessarily can't help themselves, and also giving back to the community.
Sure.
I'm an active resource and helping keep my community that I grew up in a safer place to live in.
So what's the toughest part of the job?
The toughest part of the job that I've experienced, number one has to be death notifications to families.
Yeah.
Another big thing is young adults that have passed away due to drug overdoses. Sure. For a long period of time, I worked patrol down around the lake and saw many boating accidents and drownings. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really tough to see the family waiting for their loved one to be recovered. And with that being said, it's a big reminder that you learn to respect the lake, and now's the perfect time to tell people.
Getting into summer. In
the summertime, wear life jackets. You need to respect the lake. Don't take it for granted that it's not going to happen to me. I've seen people everywhere from toddlers, teenagers, athletes, elderly, all fall victims to something at the lake. So that's a big reminder to stay safe and wear your life jackets.
Tell us somebody who early on mentored you. Who was an early influence on you when you got here?
When I first started out, I was a detention officer working in the jail. One of my supervisors at that time was Alan Cranford. He was one of my sergeants, and I learned a lot through him working in the jail, and to this day now he's a captain here at the Sheriff's Office over our training, and he's always taught me you never forget where you came from. You never look back and you remember what other people are going through.
Right.
I remember at the time when I was a detention officer and taking each step up. But I do want to say too, I had another mentor shortly after, Todd Carver.
Right.
I know Todd.
Yep.
Okay. Well, he helped me. I went on to patrol, and during that time, he pushed me to just be the best that I could. He was a good influence, and he always encouraged me. Today, you do good. Tomorrow, you do better. You always strive to be a better person.
So those are two people you look up to.
Yeah, those are two people throughout my early career that's.
So for our folks out there that are looking in, what kind of advice would you give somebody, a young person now considering a career in law enforcement?
For young people looking into law enforcement now, first I would say, keep your grades up, make good decisions. You want to hang out with people that don't get in trouble, because the people that you hang out can make a big influence on what happens to you. If they're seen doing something bad, it's going to be assumed that you could be possibly doing that as well. Live your life as there's a camera on you, because most of the time there will be. And law enforcement agencies, when we go to hire people, we look into social media. So if you're seen doing something that's not smiled upon, then chances are that you'll be looked over. But with that also being said, I think that young people should look into an internship or an explorers program.
Right.
and see if that's what they want to do.
See before you jump in.
Yeah, get the experience before you put all the time and effort into BLET or criminal justice. Get hands-on. Know that you're going to miss holidays. You're going to miss weekends. It's not all about driving fast and carrying a gun.
It's all hard work.
There's a lot of paperwork to it. It's meticulous. You go home at the end of the day thinking, is there something else I should have done? So I think young people need to think, is this something that I can handle?
Very good.
So those are definitely things that they should keep in mind.
So, and hopefully they'll realize that you don't want to see them on the other side of the table. You're having to interview them as a suspect.
Right. We do not want to interview them as a suspect.
That's right. Very good. Well, Katie Harwell, Detective Sergeant Katie Harwell, thank you very much for your service and congratulations on being recognized as the first responder on Statesville Free News and Views.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mike, that was a great interview with Detective Sergeant Katie and all her hard work here. Hey, but this morning you went to Special Olympics.
Yes, it was a great morning at Statesville High School. Hundreds of Special Olympians from throughout the county, all ages. They have the parade of athletes where they walk into the stadium to great cheering and just a great scene to be part of. We actually filmed it. You can watch it on our Facebook page at Statesville Free News. And we'll also have a great photo gallery of all the Olympians up on our website later this week. But it was just a great morning.
All right, so this kind of wraps us up. So next week, we're going to feature Patty West, 5th Street Ministries. Then we're going to go to interview you did with John Galena. The work he does, I know that he lost his partner earlier unexpectedly, Dale Beatty, and they just completed the book.
Right. Just days before Dale passed away, they sent it off to the publisher. There's been some revisions, obviously, since Dale's passing, but just a great interview with John. The work they're doing at Purple Heart Homes is incredible, and the stories in the book, very moving and telling about what a lot of these veterans face when they come back home.
So remember, go to SVL Free News, sign up for the email edition, and also send me a message. If you've got an idea for a story you want us to cover, we'll be glad to look into it, and we thank you for tuning in. Also, thank our sponsors too. So we look forward to seeing you next week for another edition of Statesville Free News and Views with Brian About Town.